Welcome to Echoes, the show where we listen to the stories that linger long after the headlines have faded. I'm Ron, and today we're traveling to a small, quiet city of Duncan, Oklahoma. It's the kind of place where everyone knows your neighbors. Friday night football is a ritual, and life generally moves at a slower, more comfortable pace. But in October of 2014, a chilling echo was shattered that peace. It originated from inside a well respected family's home. A family that seemed to have it all: success, community standing, and a bright future. This is the story of the Hruby family and the unfathomable crime that unfolded behind your closed doors. It's a story about secrets, debt, and a darkness that no one saw coming. Our story begins not with the crime itself, but with its discovery. Imagine it's Monday, October 13, 2014. A housekeeper arrives for her regular shift at the beautiful Ruby residence in Duncan. She's been working with the family for years and knows them well. And in the family, there is John, the 50-year-old father, a well respected local figure and a publisher at the Marlowe Review newspaper, and his wife, 48-year-old Joy, known to everyone as Tinker. She's a vibrant and beloved member of the community who also worked at the Marlowe Review. They have two kids: a 17-year-old daughter named Catherine, who's a high school junior, and a 19-year-old son, Alan, a college freshman. Now let's go back to the story of the housekeeper. The housekeeper enters the house, but something feels wrong because it's too quiet. As she moves through the house, a sense of dread builds, leading her to a horrifying discovery. John, Tinker, and Catherine are all dead, and it's immediately clear this is no accident because all of them were shot. The police arrive at the scene of the unimaginable violence, and the community is instantly plunged into a state of shock and fear because who could do something so monstrous to a beloved family? Was it a robbery gone wrong? Or targeted attack? No one knows. The police chief will later call the crime hideous and beyond most people's ability to comprehend. And as investigators began processing the scene, there was one person there who should have been falling apart. But it wasn't. The lone survivor, 19-year-old Alan Ruby. He was a student at the University of Oklahoma and was now the sole survivor of his immediate family. Friends and neighbors gathered around him, offering their condolences, but as the investigators began, the focus would soon turn directly to him. The district attorney, Jason Hicks, later described Alan's behavior at the scene as very nonchalant, cold, and callous. He said any tears Alan shed were crocodile tears, because that kind of reaction from a grieving son and brother is a massive red flag for investigators. And it didn't take them long to start digging into Alan's life, and oh boy, what they found was a young man living a double life. So who was Alan Ruby? To his college friends at the University of Oklahoma, he was fun, popular guy who lived a lavish lifestyle. He had a taste for designer clothes, luxury hotels, and was known for just going out and buying things on a whim. But here's the thing: this guy couldn't afford it. Because his parents, John and Tinker, even though they were successful, they weren't, about to fund this extreme level of spending. Because in fact, they were actively trying to stop it. Because Alan's spending was so out of control that he had even joined Shoppers Anonymous, according to his roommate. It got so bad that he used his grandmother's name to acquire a credit card while in Europe that summer, and he put $5,000 worth of charges on that fraudulent obtained card. Police arrested him in August 2013 when he returned to the United States from his vacation. And in February 2014, the judge sentenced Alan Ruby to probation for the, grand mal fraud charges. As you can imagine, his parents were at their wits' end with your son, so then they cut him off financially. Alan's problem were bigger than just not having, shopping money, because he owed $3,000 to a loan shark, and the pressure was on to pay it back. Because with his parents' bank account closed to him now, Alan felt his world was crumbling, and in his mind, there was only one way to solve his money problems for good, which is to get his inheritance money. Because he was gonna get it anyways if his parents die. So why not get it sooner? And so he decided he didn't want to share with his sister too either. So here's where the story becomes impossible to believe, because according to Alan's own confession, here's what happened on Thursday, October 9, 2014. He stole his father's 9mm pistol from his truck. He then went to his family's home. His mother, Tinker, was there and he shot her twice. His 17-year-old sister, Catherine, heard the noise and ran to the kitchen to see what was happening. And guess what? Alan shot her too, but once he shot her once. Then he waited for about an hour, sat in the house with his mother and sister's bodies, waiting for his father to get home from work. When John Ruby, Alan's father, walked in, Alan shot him twice too. His next action shows a chilling level of planning because he knew the house had security system. So he took the DVR that recorded all the footage, he grabbed the murder weapon, and then he drove to a nearby lake and threw them in it. To create an alibi, he had intentionally left his cell phone back at the University of Oklahoma so that when police investigates the crime, it will ping there. This guy thought he was smart. But what does he do after murdering his entire family in cold blood? Well, guess what? He drives to Dallas for the OU Texas football game weekend. He checks into the Ritz-Carlton Hotel and parties with his friends. His roommate, who went with him later, said Alan was totally normal. He was laughing, making jokes, all the while hiding this horrific secret. Man, this guy is deceptive. That's what his roommate said. But for 4 days, the bodies of John, Tinker, and Catherine laid in their home. When they were finally discovered on Monday by the housekeeper and Alan was called to the scene, his cold-detached behavior immediately made him the prime suspect. On October 15, 2014, officers arrested Alan Hruby for violating the terms of his credit card fraud probation. And in the question at the police headquarters, and faced with the evidence regarding the murders of his parents and sister, he confessed. He admitted he killed his family for the inheritance money, and the community was horrified. The district attorney, Jason Hicks, announced he would seek the death penalty in this case. For a while, it looked like the case was headed for a long, painful trial, and in a bizarre letter Alan sent to the Oklahoma newspaper from jail, he himself even wrote, I 100% welcome the death penalty, because what occurred is so horrible it is deserved. But the victims' surviving family members had a different wish. They approached the DA and said they didn't want to endure the stress and trauma of a trial and the years of the appeals that will follow a death sentence, and they wanted it to be over. So respecting their wishes, the district attorney offered a plea deal. So in March 2016, Alan Hruby pleaded guilty to 3 counts of first-degree murder. In exchange, he was sentenced to 3 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. And as part of the plea deal, he waived all his right to any future appeals, and he would never get out of prison ever. At his sentencing, he was given a chance to speak to his family, but offered no apology. I mean, he did kill, his entire immediate family. He might not have anything to say. The murder of the Hruby family is a story that leaves a permanent echo. It's a shocking look at how a person's obsession with money and a lavish lifestyle can lead him to commit the ultimate act of betrayal. John, Tinker, and Catherine Hruby were by all accounts a loving family, killed by the person they should have been able to trust the most. And it's also a case that forces you to ask, how well can you ever really know somebody, and even yourself? And what dark secrets can hide behind a seemingly perfect life? Thank you for listening to Echoes. Join me next time as we listen to another story that deserves to be heard.